everybody, Nina Miranda Guillen here on another video blogs of my performance studies. But before I get to what I read about chapter 8 on performance resistance, I want to wish you guys, hope you have a great Halloween yesterday. And also today is my brother's birthday. His name is AJ. He is turning 23, so I want to wish my brother AJ happy birthday. So that's my personal housekeeping. Now let's get to what I just read in this video blogs. So in this video vlogs, I just read the 8th chapter of Elizabeth Bell book called Performance Resistance. And the only thing I'm going to talk about mostly, what I just read and looked over, is the types of theaters when it comes to the political changes, their global changes, and everyday lives. So on Alienations of Epic Theaters, it says there that there are many techniques that work their way into the canons of strategic enlisted in live performances, films, and televisions, without any regards up to political changes or social just social justice agendas. And it's like, in quote, let the scenes shows anyway. And these four effects are the breaking the fourth wall. Like what I know from the previous chapter 2 on Elizabeth Bell book 2, that it's how the characters in the stage talking to you or the audience. It's like they come out of the fourth wall, decided they're talking to you, asking you, or come to sing along thing. Like, for example, on my first citation I like on page 203, on Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which is the musical version of Monty Python's Spanglin, it says the song Run Away contains the line, "We're stuck in a nasty position," / "Why don't you take a short intermission?" / "Have a drink and a pee." At the end of Act 2, that the Grail is found in the theater. That was the first citation, just because I love Broadway musical, I would like to use this as my first citation, and since, I like Broadway, and especially comes to my theater career, is want to work on Broadway. The next one is keeping emotion in checks. Like the second citation I like on the same page, 203, that Betch does not allow feelings to preempt the fields of observation, nor does he want us to get into the other people's skins unless at least we fail to observe them, assess them, and draw objective conclusion. It's like, how are you gonna make sure you have to keep emotions, like with the Romeo and Juliet, and you see the very sad moment with the Romeo killed himself with the potion thing, and also you keep feeling sad that Juliet also kills herself by stabbing in the heart thing, and then in the end, everyone's apologizing for these fights, how they ended the fights, very tragedy. That's like examples giving you on keeping emotions. The arresting moment is like for example, in the television show CSI, we often see the pathway, which is a bullet that fired from a gun that takes on a butterfly effect of poisonous chemicals on unknowing the victim. It's like you see how the bullets hits to the victims and see which of these suspects is responsible for the murdering thing, need to know the motives. And then if they have all the evidence that relates to the same suspect who was responsible for murdering, they ended up arrested and will close the case. You know how it goes when it comes to watching criminal shows like CSI, CSI Miami, new CSI Vegas, Chicago PD, Law & Order, SVU, and that's other criminal shows that go with the samples of the arresting moments. And definitely, when it comes to theater, it sets to break the linear floor of the narrative and definitely identification to the story in a theater version or the movie or live or TV shows that I meant. And the next one is the making strange. Like, for example, Chris Kahn's Tales from the Lead of Romeo and Juliet retells the Shakespearean tragedy in lead or least speak. It's like how they use a cipher languages that spells among like hackers, gamers, or any other internet populations. Like, instead of Romeo, we're Arthur, dude, Romeo. Instead, it says, what the? The F-bomb, I can't say that. Just, what the frick? It's what I meant. that it definitely makes a strange languages for Shakespeare for when it comes to read the Shakespeare play versus in the like a history version of Shakespeare's besides versus the modern version of the Shakespeare's plays. There's a critical analysis. And there's also types of theaters one is the simultaneous terminology. It's like a technique that is designed to involve spectators in the scene without requiring that physical presence in stage. It's like you're moving through the exposition, inciting incidents, and you're rising the actions to the moment of the climax. It's like how the audience members write the script that the actors performed almost simultaneously. Like, for example, let's see. I got it. How about when I saw Wicked the second time in Atlanta? I saw the climax of how Elphaba is really able to now learn to fly on the divine gravity, which is right before the end of Act 1. That was definitely one of the climax, and how everyone got reacted to what's going on with Elphaba and Glinda, and right before Elphaba goes way up in the sky, and the end of the Act 1. The image theaters, which is which spectators becoming, and the visible, which means participants that takes the play to the place when there is not a theater and performing it for the audience, which is definitely not the audience. And last, but certainly not least, is the fallen theater. It's how the participants tells a story containing a political or social problem that is definitely very difficult to resolve. Participants discuss whether they agree or disagree with the solution presented, and the fallen theater assumes that some participate will disagree. Like in the normal heart, it shows the place of how it's very hard to try to help the people or LGBT that have let's say some type of gay cancers or AIDS, that everyone don't like to talk about in the 80s before we know right now with the LGBT community as we see the plays, numerous plays. Let me tell you, it's very sad, emotional. I gotta cry a lot and so forth. So this is what I just know about from the chapter 8 of Elizabeth Bell. The only thing questions of how this theater is related to the political actions. What about what has to do with the people in real life with the disability issues? So that's all my today's video vlogs. I hope you guys enjoy it. Goodbye.